In today's video, guys, I'm going to be talking all about the update coming tomorrow on December 13th, which is an update to get us ready for the Tower Troops, and that big update will be dropping on January 1st, but we already have some information on what to expect January 1st, and I'm going to tell you guys all you need to know about the update coming tomorrow. On top of that, there's also emergency balance changes happening in tomorrow's update as well, and we're going to get into all of those things in today's video. So as I'm sure you guys saw in the teaser, the Princess Tower is going to be the first one coming to the game. Princesses have been defending their towers for years. It's time for a performance review. On December 13th, Princess Towers will become Crown Towers, and you'll soon be able to decide which tower troop stands on top to protect your king. Tower Princess will be one of these tower troops, so you can keep her in your deck if you want to. If you don't want to, you'll have to wait. The first new tower troop is coming to Clash Royale at the start of the year, which is what I was saying, January 1st. Is when the big update drops, and that's when the new or the first official one is coming out, since the princess is already in the game. And this is a picture, just kind of a small little teaser of it. As you can see, it's some dude wearing goggles, and you saw in the small clip of him too, he was firing, it shot too, so there were a couple glimpses of what he was firing. So one of the new big changes happening this update is there's a new collection UI. So the way it works is tower troops don't occupy any of the 8 main card slots in your decks. You might be wondering, how do you change them? So there's a new redesigned collection tab. The new collection tab interface is one of the main changes that you will notice this update. For reference, the current collection has decks, as I'm sure you guys know, cosmetics, magic items, and battle banners. But after the update, you'll see there's only 2 main tabs. And as you can see from the collection tab, the only tower troop there as of now is the princess until January 1st, where there'll be that second one. So we now have 3 different tabs labeled as collection at different levels, but it shouldn't be too confusing given how similar it is to the previous UI. What may seem like a bigger struggle at first is the decks tab, which now adds an extra step if you want to make any adjustments to any deck. You'll first have to tap one of the 8 cards and then tap again on edit deck. So you essentially just have to click another button, if that makes sense, or it might just be something you have to get used to. You can click on a card and you edit the deck from there, so that's a little bit different. And then more common interactions like switching deck slots or pasting decks will be quick and easy as before, so that's good to know. The duels deck section has not changed, and we presume that the same will happen with the Clan Wars 2 deck section. This means that tower troops will not be enabled in these game modes. And as for the tower troop selection, given that we only have the princess towers available, there's not too much we can show for now, but this is what it looks like in case you're curious. And now I'm sure the moment you all have been waiting for is, how much money is this going to cost? Or how's the upgrade process going to work? Well, here you go. Tower troop upgrades. The behavior of tower troops is very similar to the rest of the cards. They have their rarities and can be upgraded by spending cards and gold. A few things to keep in mind. Tower troop cards can be found in a new kind of chest, the tower troop chest. So that's interesting. Wild cards and magic books can't be used to level up tower troops. Magic coins can be used to cover the gold upgrade costs. Tower troop levels are capped by your king tower level, and upgrading tower troops to level 15 costs 50,000 elite wild cards. And the upgrade costs are the same as normal cards. So for the Tower Princess, which has the common rarity, upgrade costs are as follows, and you can see here it's the exact same as if you're upgrading another card. So that's kind of nice, at least, even though it costs 50,000 elite wildcards, and people were worried about that, if you would, have to pay something to get it. And it turns out it is going to be the same as cards in that sense, but at least the conversion is the same. So that's one good thing. It won't be confusing to anyone. And lastly, before we get into the balance changes, there's also a shop UI update. So that's going to look different as well. So that goblin in the shop isn't going to be there anymore. We don't know if he's retiring or being fired due to endless customer complaints over his price strategies. What we know is that the shop will now have a more colorful theme with distinct sections for the different categories of items you can buy. So the offer section of the shop is going to look like this. It looks a lot different colors. It just looks different. The market where you buy the cards looks different as well. Honestly, I don't mind this change at all because we've had the same shop for the longest time ever, and I feel like it doesn't hurt to, change the art and the scenery of it a little bit. I think this is something no one is going to complain about. I could be wrong, though, and then there you go. That's the creator code section. So they all look different. Pretty cool. And as always, there's some improvements and bug fixes. You can read them here, nothing too crazy. Anyways, let's get into the balance changes. So the Ice Spirit evolution is going to go from 3 cycles to 2. Honestly, a huge fan of that. I was saying that right when it came out. I even said that in my gameplay videos of it. I would really like it to be 2 cycles, and sure enough, they did that. Do I think it's enough? Honestly, I kind of doubt it. I still don't think it's going to be that good, but really great start in my opinion. Nothing wrong with having a weaker Evo to start out, and then they continue to give small buffs to it. Really, really good start. Love to see that. Now, the Evo Archers losing 15% of their damage, I think that's a pretty sizable nerf. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough because obviously the Archers are the best evolution in the game right now. I mean, if you don't say they're the Archers, it's either that or the Knight. Now, after this nerf, maybe the Knight's going to be the best again. I still think the Evolved Archers will easily be a top 3 Evo even after this nerf. I could be wrong, but the range is just so useful and that extra health buff because they don't die to arrows. So because that's still the case, I think they'll still be very strong, but I think this is quite a good nerf to them. Now, the Goblin Giant, on the other hand, I'm not a huge fan of this nerf. I mean, I like using the Goblin Giant, but I don't think I'm that biased. I think the Goblin Giant probably could have used a bigger nerf. Personally, I would have liked to see its health get nerfed. Maybe they could have taken away 3% of its health or 4% of his health, because of course he got a 6% health buff, which I think was way too much, and Spear Goblin minus 12% hit speed. I really do not think that's going to impact the card all that much, but of course some interactions will change, so it is better than nothing. Let's see what some other people think. Overall, I'm glad we got something. Something's better than nothing, so I'm not complaining. Finally, a Goblin Giant nerf. Am I crazy or were Archers fine? I don't think they needed a nerf. Mid-ladder player spotted. Excuse me, where's the hog? Not the right Goblin Giant nerf at all. Hit points was the main issue, and where's Little Prince nerf? Little Prince nerf is true. I don't know why they passed up on that nerf. I feel like he needs to die to Fireball or had some sort of other small nerf for sure. 100% agree with Too Good there. Nice to see an Ice Spirit buff and Evolve Archers nerf. Both seem very appropriate. Goblin Giant getting a change is great after we've waited so long, but I wonder why they didn't just reduce its hit points. Let's see how much of a difference this makes. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't think it's going to change the card very much. And let's end briefly with what people think about Tower Troops. And as expected, everyone's focused on the fact that you have to spend elite wild cards to upgrade the tower. This is what people are saying, 50,000 elite wild cards. And yeah, I can see why people are upset. Honestly, I was wishing they wouldn't make Tower Troops pay to win and they be accessible to everyone, including free-to-play players, but let's just hope when the Tower Troops come out, they're unique and a cool feature at least. I guess we'll see what happens. So that's all the information you guys need to know. Let me know how you all feel about Tower Troops.